Hey, what's going on, Who That Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. Thank you all so much for spending your lunch breaks and your little noonday time with yours truly. It's been a while since I did a show, man. I took a couple of days off. Just tried to relax, man, recharge the batteries. I know there was a lot of Saints news that went on in the course of time, man, but, I just wanted to make sure that my priorities in line, man. I had a few days to, reseed the garden, to spend a little time with my family, watch Wrestlemania. So we back at it, man. We back at it and really do appreciate your time. We're going to be talking about Tyra and Matthieu on this edition of the State of the Saints podcast. I haven't really talked in depth about Tyrann Matthieu. Of course, he has been on the lips of a lot of members of the Who Dat Nation because I think all of us would agree that we would love to see Tyrann Matthieu as a member of the New Orleans Saints. We know that Tyrann Matthieu is a native of New Orleans. He went to St. Aug High School. Shouts out to all the Purple Knights out there. And, of course, he has had a stellar college as well as NFL career. I mean, it started off a little rocky, of course. Didn't make some of the best decisions at his young age, but as he's grown older, he has developed into a really good young man. He has really embraced being a father, a husband, and a leader in every locker room that he went into. Shouts out to guys that mentor him like Patrick Peterson, man. Patrick Peterson took him under his wing, invited him into his home, and really helped him to become that professional that he is today. We know that the New Orleans Saints have some huge voids that they need to fill. It's not so much about players. To me, it's more about leadership and having that veteran out there that can get those other guys in line. Malcolm Jenkins retiring was huge. Not so much about his production on the field. I mean, 13 years, Malcolm Jenkins wasn't the fastest guy in the world to begin with. But he was always a guy, he was always where he needed to be. And he was one of those guys that exude leadership, right? You know what I'm saying? He was one of those guys that the guys look at and be like, okay, man, he got two Super Bowl championships. He conducts himself in a certain way. I would love to play with this guy. And when he's listening, when he tells me something, I'm listening. Tyrann Matthieu has that same pedigree. You see a lot of guys on the Saints team that have relationships with him, guys like C.J. Gardner-Johnson, guys like Michael Thomas. These guys love Tyrann Matthieu, and I think the feeling is mutual. But we all know that Tyrann Matthieu, he definitely would love to play for the New Orleans Saints. You can tell. You can tell by the way that he's responding to a lot of the Saints players that are trying to lobby for him. But we have to also remember that this is a business, okay? It's not just about Tyrann Matthieu wanting to play for the Saints. It's about the Saints wanting Tyrann Matthieu to come there. And we all know that we love our New Orleans Saints, but they're a little bit cheap. And they're willing to go out here and break the bank on guys that they feel are necessary. They feel like they can build players. They can get those middle-of-the-road type guys to come in. We seen them get Street from the 49ers. We seen them get Jaleel from the Texans. This guys that you probably wouldn't even know if you didn't follow football. But they get these guys that are on the cusp of being something special, and they coach that out of those guys. And I got respect for that, right? You can coach the heck out of those guys. You can get them, for the cheap. But there's some guys that you just can't put money on, and you have to go out here and you have to pull the trigger. And Tyrann Matthieu is definitely one of those guys. He's one of those guys that fly all over the field. He's a guy that has great instincts. He's a guy that can, get the ball back to the offense. And he's one of those guys that can fill that void that Malcolm Jenkins left behind, that huge, huge void. Look, I like Marcus May. I think that he is a good addition to the New Orleans Saints. I like the fact that the Saints have re-signed P.J. Williams. I never thought I'd be saying that in a million years, but here we are. I think that you got some pieces, but Tyrann Matthieu, to me, will definitely put that defense over the top. And honestly, I feel like it would be an upgrade from Malcolm Jenkins. No disrespect to him, but Tyrann Mathieu is a better player than Malcolm Jenkins is. He is a better cover guy than Malcolm Jenkins is. He's a better tackler. And, you know, there's no disrespect to Malcolm Jenkins. He had a great career, not a Hall of Fame career, but it still was a great career. But I think that Tyrann Mathieu is an upgrade from him. So I would love to see Tyrann Mathieu in the Saints uniform. I would love to see him come to the city. I think that he would embrace that, the fact that it is his hometown. Guys have a tendency of playing pretty hard when they grew up watching the team. They know what that team actually means to the city, the Gulf Coast region as a whole. And I think that Tyrann Mathieu would not be an exception. So I would love to see him there. But I would ask that the New Orleans Saints open up their checkbook and show that man some love, because at the end of the day, it's just not about wanting to play. It's about making sure that, you know, this guy goes out there and he is worth the investment, because at the end of the day, this is, once again, a business. But thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for those that filing into the chat. I really do appreciate that. I want to say this before I start reading some of the comments. I mentioned this just a few minutes ago about the Saints signing P.J. Williams to a one-year deal. I just feel like it's just suffice. I feel like it's suffice for me to apologize to P.J. Williams. All right, P.J. Williams, if I'm man enough to get behind his microphone and say, man, P.J. Williams smoked like brisket, burnt like a biscuit, well, he must know where the body's buried. He must got some pictures or something like that's on Sean Payton and the coaching staff. He must got some dirt on him. If I can go out here and say all these things jokingly about the guy, then I can man up and say that this dude has changed the perception of what I had about him. You know, I think sometimes like we like to laugh and joke about guys, and then we pretend like we didn't say those things. I definitely said those things, and I stand here today being humbled, eating a lot of crow, you know, and I have no problem with doing that. P.J. Williams has won the respect of the Who Dat Nation. It's not many guys that, you know, get second chances around here. It's not many guys that fans just embrace like that. You know, once I learned this about most Saints fans, not all of them, but when they feel like you have this reputation, they will never allow you to change that reputation or change the way that they feel about you. And I don't know if it's stubbornness. I don't know if it's just them being naive or them just resting on their laurels or dying on the sword or whatever. But P.J. Williams deserves our respect. The fact that this man is signed back with the New Orleans Saints, the fact that he has improved on the field, I do feel like moving him from corner to safety has saved his career, and he has been pretty solid over the last couple of seasons. So I do respect the heck out of his man, and this goes to show you right here how a narrative can definitely change. I haven't seen anything like this probably since Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram came to the New Orleans Saints out of the University of Alabama. He was a Heisman Trophy winner. He was highly touted. Everybody was so excited about seeing him here. And the first couple of years, it wasn't the best of experience. You know, I don't know if it was the way that Sean Payton was calling plays for him. I don't know if it was just the fact that he wasn't embracing catching the ball out of the backfield. I mean, but it was just people weren't giving this dude an opportunity. And it wasn't until maybe his fourth or fifth year, that's when the Who Dat Nation started to respect this guy. So P.J. Williams kind of fall into that category for me. Up and down career as far as fans are concerned. But I stand here today saying I'm a fan of P.J. Williams, and I'm excited to see this guy come back. So once again, if I'm mad enough to get behind the mic and talk about this guy's imperfections and the things that I feel like, you know, he don't need to be on this team about, now I definitely can, eat crow and say that this man deserves our respect. So I want to give a special shout out to P.J. Williams, for doing this thing and getting re-signed by the New Orleans Saints. But let's go ahead and read some of these comments. I'll start with Jerry. Jerry says, I don't see Matthieu going to Pittsburgh. He's coming to New Orleans. Well, Jerry, the longer he's out there, the better chance the Saints have of getting him. Here's the reality. As of right now, teams are trying to figure out how they can get better through the draft right now, because you have a lot of these guys that are free agents, I should say. They're probably going to be free agents until after the draft. Because if a team feels like they can get themselves a young rookie, a young, vibrant guy that they can develop and work into their system, and they can get them on a rookie deal, they're definitely going to be looking there first versus going out here getting a veteran. Now, if let's just say the draft goes by and they don't get the guy that they want, then they probably will go out there and probably go after a Tyrann Matthieu or go after some of these other guys at those positions that they need. But I think a lot of focus is on the draft right now. Tyrann Mathieu, to me, if he's smart and his representation is smart, which I believe that they are, I would wait. I will wait and see, because right now teams are going to lowball you because they feel like, well, we can always go through the draft and we can find somebody that's productive and we don't have to pay them as much. So what you want to do is you might want to wait till after the draft and then see what teams stack up. That way you'll know if a team actually needs your services. Because if the Saints go out here and they draft a safety, right? Let's just say the Saints find a diamond in the rough, just like they found a Paulson Adebo. If they find a guy like that, then there would be no need for the Saints to go after Tyrann Matthieu. But if the Saints feel like they got bigger fish to fry, which we all believe that they do when it comes to the tackle position and also the wide receiver position, maybe getting yourself another running back, where does that fall, right? Where does the safety fall? Can you get a safety? Can you get a guy that you feel like can give you that same type of production? So if I'm Tyrann Matthieu, I'm not thinking about signing with anybody right now, because in all honesty, I don't feel like teams are going to give you your just due or what you deserve, because they feel like they have the dangling carrot that is the NFL draft that's working in their favor. Yo, TJ, how are you today? Hitting that like button to show support. Moderating another channel. We'll bounce back and forth, keep the grind, and who that. Man, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you for stopping by. Go ahead and do your thing, man. I just appreciate you even mentioning State of the Saints podcast and clicking that button. And if you enjoy the State of the Saints podcast, I ask that you hit that like button. I would really appreciate that, folks. I love the Matthieu signing. Him and CD, same backfield. Boy, these dudes animals out there. Yeah, that would be a good look. But once again, it's not just about perception in this particular situation. It's more about money. Like, will the Saints pay this man his just due? I mean, it's about money at the end of the day, folks. These guys can lobby all day. They can talk about, man, I want to see this guy. Man, I hope that we can play together. That's cool, but, man, you got to dot the I's and cross the T's. And if the Saints really want this guy, they need to pay him. Everybody like up. Doing good. You can tell Tyrann is happy to be back home. The way he keeps talking about being back, all the pics he's posting, you can feel his excitement. Yeah, that's right, Dana. This guy's all in Baton Rouge, man. He all up in the city. To me, I don't feel like there's no excuse why the Saints don't even try to. I don't know if they interviewed him or called or tried to get him in a building. I don't know what's going on. But the fact that this guy is actually in the state of Louisiana, has been around here, and yet the Saints have done absolutely nothing to bring him in, man, I don't know what it is. I really don't. I don't know what it is about the New Orleans Saints. It's like they don't really like Louisiana natives, like for some apparent reason. Like if a guy is from that, LSU or, Louisiana Monroe or, Northwestern or anywhere like that, man, it's like they just stay away from him. And look, I understand, right? You're closer to home. You got like all these different temptations. People know you. You don't want to deal with that type of situation. But this guy is not a rookie. He's not been in the league 2 years. This guy has been in the league for quite some time. And I think you have to take that into account. A lot of teams, they don't care. I don't understand it. I don't understand like why the Saints operate the way that they do. You would think that watching LSU football games every single year and watching these talented wide receivers and cornerbacks and linebackers and defensive ends and offensive linemen, you would think that you have a bird's eye view and you'll be paying attention to what these dudes actually bring to the table. But even when these guys are available, the Saints do absolutely nothing. And you know how talented Tyrann Matthieu is. I mean, this guy is extremely talented. I'm the biggest shock to me is the fact that we even having this conversation about Tyrann Matthieu on April 4th of 2022. And this dude hasn't been assigned like the first wave of free agents. Like that's the biggest surprise to me. I don't know if, he's turning stuff down. Maybe he has idea where he wants to go, what he wants to do. But Tyrann Matthieu being out there and being available at this particular time is a shock to me. Saints seem to have a good history of developing safety. Yes, I can see them getting one in the third or fourth, and that player plays good. Yeah, that's true. You know, the Saints, they do not keep safeties around. They get these guys for 4 and 5 years and allow these guys to go to greener pastures in order for them to get paid. You know, we've seen this, and I mentioned these names in the past, right? I mentioned Sammy Knight, if you want to think about the early days when the Saints had a really good defense under Jim Haslett. I mean, you think about Malcolm Jenkins, him going to Philly for the first time, you know, and spending 6 years there. You think about Kenny Vaccaro, him leaving, going to the Titans. You think about Von Bell leaving, going to Cincinnati. You think about Marcus Williams leaving, going to the Ravens. Now, people would say, well, they went all in on Jairus Byrd, but Jairus Byrd wasn't a New Orleans Saints draft pick. Like, when the Saints drafted these guys, and they just don't pay safety for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just the defense that they have, or they feel like a safety isn't worth it. But regardless, I mean, they do not keep those guys around. So whoever they sign, more than likely, they ain't going to keep them. And if they do, like, the only safety, look, you're going to have to pay C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I mean, I don't consider him, even though technically he's a safety, I don't consider him one. I consider him more as a nickel corner. And then you're about to back yourself into a corner, no pun intended, because he plays mostly nickel corner. And if you're playing cornerback, and we know cornerback and safeties, they make two different amounts of money. Cornerback get paid more than the safeties do. I guess they feel like, you know, cornerbacks are more of a demand than a safety is. So you might back yourself into a corner when you're going through negotiation, because C.J. Gardner-Johnson doesn't strike me as the type of guy that's going to be giving out discounts, and this guy's going to be trying to get as much money as he can. So the Saints might have to pay it. And, well, there's no might about it. They're going to have to pay him as a cornerback, and that's going to be a problem. TJ, you're being admirable, not stubborn, or take the humble is of why we're all here. Yeah, I'm being adaptable. Excuse me, man. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna try to do, man. But at the same time, look, I'm not gonna sit out here and just criticize somebody and act like I didn't do it. I just feel like that's what we try to do these days. Like, there's nothing wrong with saying that you're wrong or you didn't get it right. So many people like put everything into like just saying, you know, I got it right. Man, you saw me? You saw? I told y'all this 2-3 days ago, and look at it. I told you it was true. But then all of a sudden, like, if something they call out and it didn't happen, you know, they pretend like they didn't. Or if somebody called them out on it, they try to start speed talk. Yeah, man, what I said, what I said a couple days ago, you know, like, bump all that. Like, if you're wrong, you're wrong. If you didn't get it right, you didn't get it right. If you said something about somebody and, you know, it turns out that the person has improved themselves or did something to, you know, better the situation, I'm going to say something about it. Because I ain't trying to be phony on here, man. I'm not trying to be Nostradamus or Miss Cleo or anybody like that, man. I'm trying to give you all a perspective, giving you my opinion. And if I'm going to sit up here and do that, I mean, I feel like it would be a disservice to you all if I didn't mention that. But this dude, really, P.J. Williams, earned the respect of the Who Dat Nation. I respect the heck out of that dude for that. What up, TJ? I think a lot of people are sleeping on the Saints. I think Jay Boogie can get us deep in the playoff this year due to that. The Saints can beat any NFC team. Well, look, the NFC, that's not, honestly said, that's not saying too much of nothing. You know, like the Saints in the NFC, like, I feel like anybody can win this. Like, the NFC is down compared to the AFC. I think the biggest supporter of any NFC team will have to admit that. And the NFC, to me, is wide open. And if you take into account that there's 7 playoff spots, I do not believe that there are 7 teams better than the Saints. I don't. Unless the Saints have this big collapse or the locker room just falters and they just don't buy into what Dennis Allen is selling, I don't see 7 teams better than the New Orleans Saints. So I think the Saints, to me, even if they just consistent, I think they'll make the playoffs. I hope they do the right thing for this season. I hope so too. Hey TJ, is it possible we sign Quan? Just curious your thoughts. I think anything is possible at this particular point. I think you're going to have to find a way to replace him. I think Pete Warner did a good job coming in, and he took some snaps away from Quan Alexander, but I do think that you need some guys in the rotation. I think that Quan can fall into that category. I don't think the phone is going to be ringing at this particular point. It might ring, but, is it worth you packing up everything for a team, and leaving a team that you played for the last couple of years just to, go there? I mean, you got to think about that. Maybe he will consider, what the Saints are offering and the fact that he's been down here for the last couple of years. So I'll bring him back. Adebo will shine in 29. I was so excited when we drafted him. He was the number one corner in the nation in 2019. Yeah, I mean, the Saints definitely got something there. They definitely found a special player in the third round. Paulson Adebo definitely was one of the best corners in college football. He just kind of fell off the map because he decided to sit out due to COVID-19. And we know that the Pac-12 at that time, they was kind of discussing, are they going to play, are they not going to play? Paulson decided to shut it down, say, y'all taking too long, man. Y'all playing with my career. I'm good. I'm going to just go ahead and sit this thing out. And I think in the process, a lot of people forgot about him, especially the fact that he's playing on the West Coast. We know where I am. The West Coast is 3 hours behind, 2 hours behind if you're on Central Standard Time. A lot of people aren't staying up in the middle of the night while Paulson Adebo do his thing, and we have to basically take the scout's word for it. But in the process, we know that some of those West Coast guys kind of get slipped under the rug, especially since it's not like the days of the USC where, you had Lindell White and Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart and Jared and all these different guys out there, where everybody was just so excited to stay up late to watch USC play. So I think a lot of these guys on the West Coast kind of fly under the radar because people on the East Coast and on Mountain West, Central Time, not really staying up trying to watch these guys. So I think he kind of fell to the Saints due to that fact, but I'm glad that he did. I hope they want this season more than ever. Well, look, Raquel, I think that these guys are professional. These guys want to win. They know what's on the line, and I don't think that that's I don't think that their heart and their spirit is going to be in question. I think that they're going to play hard. I think they're going to play fast, and I think they're going to be a little bit more aggressive, man. Teams have a tendency of taking on the identity of the head coach. I think the arrogance of the New Orleans Saints kind of stem from Sean Payton's arrogance. I think their toughness and their, the wearing of the heart on the sleeve is going to really show because that's the way Dennis Allen is. I mean, Dennis Allen isn't one of those guys who compose throughout the game. If somebody gets a hit or get a tackle or they get a turnover on downs, he's really animated, excited, and I think they're going to end up taking on that identity. We know it's all about the money. Hope Saints go in for him. I mean, they were trying to go all in for Watson. Why can't they go all in for Matthieu? At least bring him in and talk a deal. Well, mask up, I think that it becomes a cliche, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. They say the quarterback is the most important position, and if you don't have a quarterback, more than likely you're not going to go anywhere. So teams feel like that's worth the investment. Getting a guy like Deshaun Watson, minus all the situations that he's going through. I mean, you have to admit he's a talented guy. And when he's on the market and you have an opportunity to get him, I mean, you got to do what you have to do. But I do agree, and I've said this on several occasions, that same level of enthusiasm that you had for him, you need to have for every position. You want to get better at every position and not just a position where you just feel, a guy throwing the ball. Because here's the reality. You can get a guy like Deshaun Watson, but who is he going to be throwing the ball to, right? Who's going to be able to get stops in order for him to get back on the field, for him to do his thing? Me personally, I'm just glad that it didn't happen. I think that you can build your team around what you actually have, and it's hard for you to build a team if you don't have any first-round picks. And if it don't pan out, let's just say he flakes out, he gets injured, something happens, you'll be setting your franchise back. So for that, I'm happy that the Saints didn't do it. I'm happy that he decided to go somewhere else because I really felt like the Saints would have been setting themselves back, adding him to the team. It doesn't surprise me that a lot of the national media thinks that the Yucks will win the South. I predict they will finish second due to Brady not lasting the full season and losing in the playoffs. Well, look, all that is just wishful thinking. Look, I can understand why. I know we don't like the Bucs. They are a divisional rival, but I can understand why they decided to put those guys as the top team in the NFC South. Well, number one, they won the division last year, and I just feel like that would be hypocrisy on our part. The years in which we won the division on several occasions and they always would pick somebody else, we would get mad and frustrated and say, man, nah, it's going to be our division. How you going to say that we, they going to win the division and we won the division? Well, I mean, you got to give them the same respect in that regard. You don't have to respect the franchise. I really don't, I mean, it is what it is, but the reality is they deserve that. And if you're looking at the NFC South, they're the only team that has a stable quarterback. No disrespect to Jameis, but people still feel like Jameis has to show them something. I like the fact that they re-signed Jameis. I'm excited about that, but he has some questions to answer. Atlanta, they got some questions to answer. Rather they go with Marcus Mariota or they get themselves a young quarterback. Or, with Carolina. I mean, they still dealing with Sam Darnold right now, but if they get a young quarterback, they still got some questions. And also with the Saints. So I can understand why they put them in that position. But it's up to the Saints to knock them off. And in the regular season, the Saints have had the number of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What up, TJ? Jerry Poe, a.k.a. the OG, long time no see. I'm listening on Twitter. Don't forget about us over there, bruh. Dwayne, man, appreciate it, man. Hear from you in a minute, man. Glad you're here. Appreciate you stopping by. Albert says Saints think it's the oldie times trying to pay pennies for something that costs millions. Yeah, I just think that they very thrifty with their money. But if you want success, you want results, you want a guy that can come in and make an impact, you're gonna have to pay. You're gonna have to pay for the impact. It's just as simple as that, man. On the other show, he went by Drew Brees at Jerry. I'm not sure what we talking about there. Okay, I guess it was a conversation. Toy Cook, my boy. Yeah, man, Toy Cook, man, that's a Saints legend right there. I ain't hear that name in a long time. Toy Cook. Shouts out to my guy Derek Augustine, man, doing his thing out there in Hollywood and California, man. It's only a matter of time, man, before you be walking on stage and slapping somebody too. I feel like slapping somebody today. Slapping somebody today. I feel like slapping somebody today. Nah, man, shouts out to my guy Derek, man. Y'all probably seen him. Godfather of Harlem. He plays Muhammad Ali. He's also on this season of All-American, man. Y'all make sure y'all check it out. I ain't gonna slap nobody, man. But it's a matter of time for my boy be hitting that Oscar stage, man. Stepped in that award, man. The guy works hard. He's a really good actor, man. And y'all make sure y'all support him, man. He's from the city. He's a big-time Saints fan. He's been on the show before. Gonna try to get him back on here when he has some time. But, yeah, man, shouts out to my brother. If you're wrong, you're wrong. But if you accept you're wrong and you say you were, that's just being honest. I'm with you, TJ. I used to give PJ hell now. I like him in the safety role. I was wrong about PJ respecting him. Yeah, I mean, look, it's okay to say you're wrong sometimes, It's not nothing wrong with that, Need to tell my wife that. Monday night is the championship in New Orleans. Who you got? Kansas, UNC. Look, I have to say Kansas, man. Kansas to me been kind of rolling, and that win over Villanova was pretty impressive. I wasn't expecting for UNC and Duke, not to be a shootout. These guys hate each other, and this is almost like equivalent to the Bucks and the Saints. When the Bucks retired Drew Brees. I mean, I think it was only right though. I think it was only right that North Carolina be the team that knocks Mike Krzyzewski you know, out of college basketball. It's only right, man. You know, y'all been battling that whole time. You know, the battle of the old guard, right? UNC Duke. So it was only right. But I got Kansas. Saints still have not grabbed up a wide receiver. Parker got traded to the Patriots, so I'm guessing the Saints are going to be aggressive during the draft. Yeah, that's probably what they do. Honestly, at the end of the day, it's a smart decision. It's a smart decision, Key, if they do it. If they do it. If they don't do it, then I'm going to be wondering what the heck going on. Drew said Julio Jones might be the veteran wide receiver in that locker room. I don't know, man. Julio, damaged goods, been injured over the last couple of years, been missing like quite a few games. I don't know. He might be one of those situations where it's like an emergency. You need yourself a wide receiver. I mean, it's weird to say, man, but when you're on the other side of 30 and you have all those injuries, teams have a tendency of not looking at you as much as they did. And I do feel like he can do some damage. Especially like if you line them up like in a slot where, you know, they did Larry Fitzgerald when he got to the age of 30. But the difference between Larry and Julio was Larry was pretty durable and Julio is not. And Julio is an incredible talent. If he was retired today, he going to the Hall of Fame. But, you know, it's 1:55 Eastern right now. Yeah, it is. Well, it's 2:03 now. Upon the reading of that. Hey, TJ, your thoughts on WrestleMania? I think it was awesome. Yeah, man, I enjoyed WrestleMania, man. I watched it. You know, I checked it out both nights. Felt bad. I really wanted to go. I actually went to WrestleMania in Texas before. I thought it was fun, man. There's a lot of things that I didn't expect to happen. It was good to see Stone Cold Steve Austin, you know, have a match where he can actually go out, you know, in the state of Texas. Vince McMahon, I don't know what the heck that was. That was the ugliest stunt I ever seen that Stone Cold put on Vince McMahon. Just, you know, indication that maybe Vince needs to just maybe stay outside of the ring. Look, I understand, appreciate the effort. He's tough and all that kind of stuff. But also with this Undertaker, man. Undertaker, you know, his Hall of Fame speech to me was one of the greatest speeches of all time, especially coming from a guy who for 30 years, you ain't really know that much about him. So I thought it was a good event. I thought it was exciting. It's good to watch. Happy Roman Reigns won. Thought that was the right decision. But I'd like to see, you know, what Cody Rhodes going to do. I think that him and Seth Rollins can really make magic. I watched a lot of Seth Rollins matches. I think that Cody Rhodes, to me, I think that he's I think that's his perfect dance partner. You know, guys have like these rivalries. And it's that one guy is always, you know, when they get together, it can be a classic. We seen it with Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. We seen it with Edge and Cena and Cena and Orton. I think that they can have that type of run if they do it right. Devontae Parker needs a gunslinging quarterback to have a good season. Don't believe New England was a good fit. Saints, Green Bay, Vegas, Chargers, Colts would have been a better fit, cheap too. I don't know, man. I think Devontae Parker would fit good in there. I think that those short intermediate routes can probably do some good for him. The way that they actually do those 3-step drops out there in New England, I think that you might see him be a little bit more productive. And I think that he needs this opportunity, though. You know, the guy really never really truly had a quarterback. He kind of just been coasting the league, and you kind of forgot how good he actually was. I remember watching Devontae Parker at Louisville. I mean, the dude was pretty good. And he comes to the NFL. He played for the Dolphins, and at that time, man, the Dolphins, they were a train wreck, man. And quarterback after quarterback, no real chemistry. I think that him going to New England, I think that might be the spot where he actually, does some things. I feel bad for him, man, because he's a talented guy, but nobody really give him the respect because of the organization he came from. TJ, what's happening? Who do you think we realistically have a chance to grab at 18, and what receivers do you actually want us to draft? I want us to draft Chris Olave, but I think that you have a chance of getting any one of those guys. To me, I wouldn't be mad at any of that rotation. Now, I would be upset if You see, Traylon Burks is off the board. Olave, Wilson, and Williams by the time the Saints pick, which I highly doubt, because you have to take into account the offensive line. The offensive line, of other teams. So you have like offensive lines. Then you got like teams like Carolina, Atlanta, and Pittsburgh. These guys need quarterbacks. So those guys might be off the board. So by the time 18 rolls around, I think that the Saints will be able to get themselves a quality wide receiver. So no doubt about that. 985 Live said, you on the East Coast, right, TJ? Yeah, I'm on the East Coast. I'm out in South Carolina, Myrtle Beach. Twitter update per source, Rappaport, multiple teams calling Seattle for DK Metcalf. Well, that's a good thing. The thing about DK Metcalf, which I didn't understand the whole draft process for him. Like, the fact that that dude, he got drafted like the 3rd round or something like that? Like, he ran like a 4.3. I mean, he was muscled up, man. This dude got muscles in places where I didn't even know you can have muscles. Talented, physical, bully-like, you know what I'm saying? And for some apparent reason, he failed. But it's amazing, what you can do. But they would be insane to get rid of that dude. But to me, people going to start asking why. Like, why are you trying to get rid of this dude? Because he can be the talent level, the skill level, the size, the speed. This dude can break some of Steve Largen's records. He has that type of talent. I mean, to me, if you're trying to start over in Seattle, that's a good person, that can be a cornerstone player to a young quarterback, whether it's Drew Lock or if you draft yourself one. You need yourself a quality wide receiver, but if they get rid of him, that means that they might, end up getting a guy like Chris Olave or a guy like Jameson Williams or something. 160 wonderful people watching, 62 likes. Please help State of the Saints podcast get over 70 likes. Much appreciated. Yeah, if you enjoy the show, hit the like button. I would really appreciate that. Not in the playoffs. Bucks have our number in the playoffs. We only played them one time. Can't say they have our number. Look, I think we have to understand what having a number actually means. Having a number means on multiple occasions, more times than not, that team beats you. That means that you have their number. That means they beat the Saints in the playoffs, but having a number, no, I don't agree with that. All right? If we playing basketball, okay, we playing 5 games, okay, and I beat you 4 out of those 5, that means I have your number. If we playing, I don't know, we play 4 games and you win 2 and I win 2, I don't have your number and you don't have mine. It's pretty much a scratch. The Bucks do not have the Saints number. They just beat the Saints in the playoffs. There's a difference. Already read that. Blessing kind. Derek Ladd. Oh, man. Let's see. I used to work with you over there. It's me, light-skinned Josh. I don't know what we're talking about here. I was playing that song after the Oscar slap. Yeah, man, that was hilarious. That was hilarious, man. TJ, when you play football, what would you say your game? Look, man, when I was growing up, I loved Marvin Harrison. Like, Marvin Harrison was my guy. Marvin Harrison wasn't the biggest guy. He wasn't the strongest guy, but he was just fundamentally sound. He caught everything, and he didn't make a bunch of waves, man. That was kind, that's kind of blueprint that I like to follow. I would, not the type of person that just want to, be doing some Odell celebrations or Steve Smith. I like guys that are fundamentally sound because those are the guys that stay in the league the longest, right? So, and you go out there, you catch everything, you know what I'm saying? Like, one hand snags. Like, I feel like that's the guy that, quarterback's going to count on. It's not so much about the flash and dash. But, when I was young man, I was fast, jumped real high. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had like really good hands. So, I love Marvin Harrison growing up. And also, I would never be like this dude. But Peter Warrick was a guy that I used to enjoy watching and idolize, But he was extremely elusive. He can move around. Like, dude, was Reggie Bush before Reggie Bush was Reggie Bush. Some of y'all know who Peter Warrick is. Some of y'all probably don't. But Marvin Harrison was my guy. That, you know what I'm saying? That was the guy that I wanted to be like, Marvin Harrison. Couldn't be like Marvin, but yeah, that was somebody that I would say. Nobody is talking about the running back needs is bigger than we think. I agree. Look, we talk about it here, man. We talk about it here, Juan. I think that I think it is extremely important, and I think the Saints are going to address that. I think they're going to address that. What up, TJ? What happening, man? Is Tyrann Matthieu go to side? You know anything? Nah, I don't know anything, Wallace, to be honest with you. I think it's just a wait and see. I don't think that he's going to get signed until after the draft. That would be a smart decision. Because I don't think teams are lining up trying to sign guys right now because they're so focused on the draft. I'm gonna stroll down a little bit. DK Metcalf is not true number one. He's a high end number two. Dude talented to me. He talented. I don't care where he is. 1, 2. I'd love to have him on the team. You know. DK was trying to bully Lattimore last year. Didn't work. He only caught like one pass. It was a touchdown, but after that, he got shut down. 167 people watching. Everybody hit the like button for your boy, TJ. I appreciate y'all, man, really saying that because that really does help, man. It helps grow the show. That's because Drew Brees gifted his homie Brady the games till he retired before the season. Look, man, Drew has given us so many great moments in the Who Dat Nation. And I understand people being upset and frustrated and wanting to fight, you know what I'm saying, because we felt like that was our chance. But look, man, Drew has given us more positive than negative. I think it's time for us to go ahead and let that go, move on. And, I mean, it's been several occasions where the Saints should have did what they were supposed to do in the postseason, man. I don't think we have the time to tell you about how many times they done wet the bed. But I do want to take this moment to thank the fine folks at Manscaped. Of course, Manscaped is the official sponsor of the State of the Saints podcast, and they have their ultra premium package right now. They have the lip balm. They got the deodorant. They got the body wash, shampoo, and conditioner, and it can be yours. All you have to do is go to manscaped.com, use the promo code State of Saints. You will save 20% off your purchase. And shouts out to everybody that uses Manscaped. Last month, we had a lot of people, man, that actually ordered Manscaped and used the promo code, man. I think it was the best month since we've been doing it. We've been working with Manscaped for about a year, so thank you all, man. And it doesn't matter if you spend over $100 or $10, you can save 20% off if you use that promo code. So once again, manscaped.com, use the promo code State of Saints. Hey, TJ, is it possible we make a trade for a veteran receiver, somebody like Tyler Lockett? I know it's a reach, but you never know. I don't think it's a reach, Damian, and it's attainable, especially like when you look at guys that are younger, like a Robert Woods, even though Tyler Lockett is not coming off an ACL tear still. You know, Robert Woods is talented. He went for like a 5th-round pick. So I think that the Saints, if they wanted to, can probably make a trade for a guy like Tyler Lockett. I think that Tyler Lockett would be a great complimentary player. He's a good downfield threat, and he catches everything. He's a crisp route runner, and he reminds me a lot of Emmanuel Sanders. I think him and Emmanuel Sanders are kind of cut from the same cloth. So I know a lot of Saints fans were looking at Emmanuel Sanders, which I've been hearing, according to Yahoo Sports, that he's contemplating retirement. But I think Tyler Lockett, he kind of has that same mode. Chris Carter and Randy Moss both played with Minnesota with Randall Cunningham and Brad Johnson. Yeah, man, they did. You know, and that was one of my favorite teams when I was growing up to watch. You know, Randy Moss, Chris Carter, Robert Smith. Man, those guys were talented, man. They were a special team, man. They just end up losing to Atlanta because Gary Anderson, who didn't miss a field goal in 2 years, decided to miss one. Ain't that the worst, man, when people aren't known for doing something, when they just automatic, right? It's like Justin Tucker a couple of years ago when Baltimore played Buffalo in the, I want to say, divisional round. I mean, he missed like 3-4 field goals. That's unheard of. Like Justin Tucker, like it's almost to a point where Justin Tucker, like when he hit the field, like, man, 3 points. I mean, y'all know how rare like it was. I mean, the Saints were lucky because y'all know. I mean, Justin Tucker missed that field goal, and the Saints ended up beating Baltimore a couple of years back. I mean, this dude don't miss. So when you have a guy that is known for being as automatic as Gary Anderson was at that time, it sucked, man. Because I think Minnesota was like 15-1 that year. TJ, one of your female fans here in NOLA. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you for your support. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. I love Darian Sharper. I'm just like him. I hope that. I hope we talk about on the field now, not off the field. Not a laughing matter, but I hope we talking about on the field. I hope we talk about off the field because that's not a good thing if you're Darren Sharper off the field. Yo, TJ, if you played on defense, what position would you play? Man, I hate defense. I'm too pretty to tackle. Nah, seriously. But if I played, I probably would play cornerback. But there's no way, no. Like honestly, I'm not trying to brag or boast. But I would probably be like Diggs. You know what I'm saying? Like Trayvon Diggs. I'd probably be like him. Like seriously, I don't drop many passes. So, like when I was growing up, I didn't drop many passes. So yeah, I probably play cornerback and probably would lead the nation and the state, the National Football League in interceptions. But nah, yeah, cornerback probably be the best. And I don't know, man. It's something cool, man, about playing a cornerback position. Especially like, you be out there and man, your instincts, you know what I'm saying, out there you gotta be quick. Yeah, I probably would play cornerback though. I don't want to play like no linebacker, no D-line or nothing like that. 4 more likes to get State of the Saints podcast to 100 likes. Please help TJ get over 100 likes. Yeah, man, appreciate that. Thank y'all. Stroll down a little bit more. ATJ, you remember Peerless Price? Oh yeah, from Tennessee, and he played for the Buffalo Bills too. Back when Roddy White and the rest of that mediocre receiver corps were complaining that Michael Vick was throwing the ball too hard. Look, that man was trying to throw the ball away and then get intercepted. Okay, Peerless Price, who was over the hill past his prime around that time, did most of his damage out in Buffalo. And Roddy White, look, I mean, man, shouts out to Roddy White. Like, I never, like, man, people, like, this is the crazy thing. People used to mistake me for Roddy White. Like, this is no lie. Like, some of y'all probably know, I mean, I used to have dreadlocks back in the day. There were people, like, seriously, like, I would be at the gym working out or anywhere. Like, there's this young boy who came over there with his dad or whatever like that, and dude, I really thought I was Roddy White. Like, his son was like looking at him and stuff like that. Like, Roddy, can I get your autograph? But I just always find that funny. But nah, Roddy White was pretty decent, man. I ain't gonna lie. He was pretty decent. He used to do his thing against the Saints. But yeah, I don't know what that actually was. What I guess we were talking about how hard he was throwing the football. But yeah, man. I mean, look. Michael Vick was something special. I mean, he played in the same division as the Saints, but you have to admit, man, a part of you was a Michael Vick fan. You just didn't like that he played for the Falcons. But the dude was pretty good. Sharper didn't need to do what he did. Hell, I'd have done it for free. Oh, man. Barbara, tell her how you really feel. But a lot of people, agree with that. They felt like, why was he doing that? Dude was, he was a handsome guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm comfortable with saying that. A lot of people thought the guy was handsome, good-looking guy. So what it felt like, why would he do something like that? I don't know. I mean, people have their vices, and I don't know. I don't know why. It's unfortunate. TJ, yes, we need a veteran leader and football IQ in Matthieu, but I think this will be an excellent year for Debo. His rookie mistake last year won't happen again. Look, and if you notice, DA, if we're paying like really close attention, you would actually see that the brother started playing really good towards the end. And he had amnesia, which I feel like every cornerback needs to have. Gotta have amnesia to play a cornerback position, man, because it's only a matter of time that you're going to get beat. Even the great ones get beat. Did we not see Jalen Ramsey get smoked, you know what I'm saying, and get beat against Mike Evans? Like, it happens, man. The best of the best, the creme de la creme. It's just a matter of time before you get beat. But you have to be able to get that out of your mind and go back to the next play. That's what, to me, it's not just about, oh, man, they throwing your way and you block everything. I don't care who you are. We seen Revis get smoked by Moss. Man, we seen Deion Sanders get smoked by Jerry Rice, Andre Rison. We seen these things. So these are like the best of the best. So it's just a matter of time before guys get smoked. But it's about having that amnesia, and he definitely has that. Yes, thank you for everything. Guy getting State of the Saints podcast over 100 likes. Much appreciated. Keep up the good work. Who that nation? Yeah, man. Good. Thank y'all. TJ, hey TJ, you 220. You too big to play corner. Yeah, I mean, look. Then man, who was like 220 playing corner out there? Nah. Stanley G. Baptiste. Stanley G. Baptiste was out there. Nah, man, actually, I'm not even 220 anymore, man. I'm about 210 now, man. I done slimmed down. I gained like some weight. I was like 232 like not too long ago, man. I lost 24 pounds, man, around this thing. I lost 24 pounds, man, working out every single day, walking, being on a treadmill. Yeah, man, I didn't lost weight, man. I'm trying to get down to like maybe like 205, 200 or something like that. But I'm be honest, I think the other day I got stepped on a scale like sometime last week, and I was like 206 or something like that. And I was like, man, I don't think I want to be that small. You know what I'm saying? I want to be a nice size where, you know, I don't think dudes think they can try me. You know what I'm saying? You start getting, you know, down to the 180s, the 170s, something like that, bad. People think that fat meat ain't greasy, you know what I'm saying? So try to stay between 210, 220, something like that. So 215 probably would be my weight. TJ, I hate defense. Get the hate out your heart, fam. Just kidding. Nah, man. I wouldn't want to play defense. I'm just saying. I think I'm too talented. Would be too talented as an offensive player to play defense. TJ Roddy said, and I quote, "I like the food and NOLA, but that's it." My hate for all dirty birds know your bounds. Like, man, I think everybody hate him, but I can say a part of everybody like Michael Vick. Number one, because he was such an anomaly. You know what I'm saying? You ain't really see nothing like that since, well, if you were like old enough to appreciate Randall Cunningham or something like that, and even some of my OGs that might watch the show, Fran Tarkenton. You know, we got some older folk that probably remember Fran Tarkenton on there. But yeah, we ain't never seen nothing like that. I didn't, you know, and he was special to watch. I'm not gonna take that away from him, no matter who he played for. I mean, I thought he was a special player. TJ, tell me as a coach you wouldn't have been, man, I pay you millions to catch the ball, quit crying. Yeah, I probably would have, you know, but they probably didn't say it to him, but that's probably how they felt. Can that dude we got from New Orleans tackle? Ray Lewis is talking about coming out of retirement. To do what? Can do what? I mean, and do what, I should say. What are you going to do? Man, Ray Lewis needs to stay retired. Let's not forget Lutz will return. We lost a few because we didn't have him. Our punter is a weapon. Yeah, Blake Gillikin is definitely a weapon. And let's see where Will Lutz is at, man. Let's see where Will Lutz is at, okay? I mean, we can say that he was good, but that was at one time, man. You start dealing with them growing injuries and all that kind of stuff, and let's just see where he at. TJ, that's just this society. People will ignore the 9 times you did something brilliant only to focus on and admonish you for the one mistake you made. It happens. The best gets beaten sometimes. Yeah, man. I mean, look, people, you know, they that's just the way that they roll. People like to be right. People like to be able to forecast things, right? And when they do, they just feel like, oh man, just gravitate to me. You know what I'm saying? Focus on me. And I don't know, man. It happens. Like you said, it happens. People get burnt. You know, like it happens to the best of them. But I'm just like, man, I don't think that's the deciding factor of if a guy is good or not. People have bad games. Many times have some people like been at the park, probably pretty decent at shooting. You go out there and miss a bunch of shots. Just not your game. Don't mean that you're not good. Just mean that you just had an off game. Proud of you, TJ. I'm the same way. I got down to 210, but was like, nah, I like me at 235. Yeah, man, I'm not, look. You know, like the first thing when you start losing weight, what's the first thing that start getting slim? Your head. Your head start getting slim. When you gain weight, that's the first thing that like kind of like shows like your face. Your face started to get round. And now that, you know what I'm saying, I done got smaller, like my face done got kind of slimmer. And it's like, I don't want to do that. And then I went back in 2020. It was like around the time when I was hospitalized. I got hospitalized in like October 2019, right? And around 2020, so this was during the time when I got diagnosed with diabetes, and they didn't know which kind. Some of y'all I'm probably gonna lose with this. I apologize, but I feel like I need to tell this story. But anyway, I got diagnosed with diabetes. They thought I was a type 2 diabetic, so it was giving me this medication called metformin. And for all the diabetics out there, if you ever take metformin, it makes you lose weight. So I was like shredding off weight, like, you know what I'm saying, like nothing. I mean, I got down, I was like probably the smallest I ever was. I think I was almost like 190. And like I looked at some of my wedding pictures, man, I was looking, I'm like, man, I never wanted to be that slim. Like I was holding Paxton, like, right after, me and my wife, we had our ceremony on the beach. And I was like, man, I was small. I never want to be that small again, ever. Like, I want to be in the twos. Seriously, I want to stay in the two. I don't want to be like 240, 250 or nothing. But I definitely don't want to be that small no more. I do not. No, this like some people, you know what I'm saying, you can be muscled up and be like 170, 180. I mean, some people carry it well. That's just not me, man. That's just not me. Like I gotta be in the twos. I just got to. Already read that. Just joining. What the hell is taking them so long to sign this dude? I have no idea. They probably feel like they can get something else. I mean, it's just that simple. TJ, why is vindication so important to people, especially in the media? Because that's how society is, man. Our worth is becoming tied to social media. Like, I mean, you have people out here, and I'm not judging nobody because I was the same way, and in some ways, I still do. We try to appease an audience. We put our worth based on what other people feel about us. So when we take pictures of us going places and doing stuff, it's not for everybody. I'm just saying, I'm using this as an example. People want that validation. They want you to, if you look like you in an exotic place, water all around you on the beach. Oh man, you doing it big. You doing it big. You want that validation, right? That's just the way society is. Like everybody is becoming so shallow because of social media, and also if you notice, man, when things happen in life and it's he said, she said, a lot of people don't believe it. The world is becoming like want more and more transparency, videos, right? Pictures, proof. You know what I'm saying? So you can be out here doing your thing, handling your business, having a good life. But if you ain't out here showing, flexing, all that kind of stuff in the eyes of the public, and even probably in your mind, you feel like you ain't doing nothing. That's just the way the world works now. You have to be comfortable in your skin, but you have a lot of people that aren't comfortable in their skin, and you have a lot of these entitled people out there right now who, they want that. They want that validation, even if it's pretend. So any way they can get it, any way they can get eyeballs, it can be a lie, it could be a troll. They don't care, as long as you gravitating to them, So that's just the way the world works now. But you got to just stay focused and kind of just slide around that. And it's easier said than done. I mean, I have down moments myself, but you just got to keep moving forward. I played cornerback in freshman year in high school. I was fast but not tall, and I only played when no pass, no play came about. Half the team was cut. Otherwise, I never would have played. Let's see. I'm one of the OGs of State of Saints podcast chat. I turned 57 on March the 5th. Who that? And black don't crack. Yeah, man. Well, happy belated birthday to you, man. I mean, know it's been about a month. I ain't hear from you in a while, man. I'm glad you're doing all right, man. I'm happy that you're here. You know, it's good. It's good to see those familiar, people in the chat, man. Sometimes I be worried about y'all, like, especially when I don't hear from you, see nothing, that you chat. That you typed in a long time. I'm gonna read a few more, and then we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Barbara says the Saints are cheap. That's why they haven't signed Tyrann Matthieu. Yeah, that's a good point. I agree with that. I got type 2 diabetes via the military service where I was stationed. It's crazy. I hear you, TJ. Diabetes is no joke. Thanks for sharing your story. Yeah, no problem, man. I mean, I've been a diabetic since 2019. I was type 1. Found out I was dealing with diabetes my whole entire life and didn't even know it. It's amazing to me how nobody ever caught that. I'm still wondering if that's true or not. But, yeah, man, I mean, I take insulin shots, every day. Try to watch what I eat, even though I don't sometimes. But just staying having a son, having Paxton. I got to stay active, man. I got to stay active because that's the one thing that scares me. I don't want to be, one of those diabetics where, you lose your limbs or you lose your eyesight or something like that, man. I'm not trying to scare anybody, those that are diabetics, but those are the things that, I think about. And, I tell everybody, I'm an advocate for being active, like not just, like not just eating the right things, but being active too, man. Exercise, move those limbs and stuff, man. Make sure that you're not being stationary. TJ, quick question. Was Coach Jack the head coach when you attended college? Yeah, Coach Jack Phillips? Yeah, Coach Jack was. Coach Jack was yeah, man, Coach Jack Phillips was there. He was there when I was at college. Yeah, man. Yeah, shouts out to Coach Jack, man. Coach Jack was there for a long time, man. But I went there like on the tail end right before around the time he retired. But he was a great coach. Tough dude, man. Tough dude. Like one of them last of the manly men type dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like one of them OG. Y'all know that old man strength. Old man strength coach, right? Shouts out to Coach Jack, man. I feel you, TJ. I played football in high school. Knee injury ended the dream. Wasn't the best or most talented, but I worked my ass off and found my home on special teams and was loved in the locker room. Well, Chosen, look, ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Special teams is important, and football, there's only a few guys that's going to make it to the league, but those relationships that you have and the relationships that you develop, as being on a team, those are the things that's important. And, like I said, everybody ain't going to be the greatest of all time, but if you're doing your role, you're doing your role and doing it well, then that's the important thing. Hey, TJ, me personally, I think the Saints will go full on offense draft day, just my opinion. They need to do something. Thank you, TJ. I appreciate it, brother. I'm glad to see that you're doing well along with the family, especially your mini-me son. Yeah, man, Paxton's doing all right, man. He's reaching that age where he's having these temper tantrums and stuff like that. But nonetheless, look, it's all a part of growing, and but y'all. That's the best thing about this show, man. A lot of y'all watch my son grow. Like y'all probably see him a time where you were just a couple months old. Now y'all see him come eat talking and stuff like that. It's a lot of y'all who's been watching this show for a long time. Y'all actually have watched him grow. And that's the best thing about it too, man. On some of these archival shows, you can go back and just watch that, man, and just be like, wow, man, I can't believe how fast he's growing. TJ, do you go to the state championship in NOLA? No. My senior year, I don't know, some of y'all probably know what I'm talking about. I say Jackson State. Carver High School ended up getting suspended out of playoffs. They beat West Jefferson, right? They beat them, and there was this guy that was on the team. I ain't gonna call his name. I still know his name to this day. But he didn't even play. He was just on the bench, and he was 19. And he was ineligible to be there. I think he might have been right out there on special teams or something like that. Somebody ended up getting hurt, and he ended up running the game. But then West Jeff was supposed to have a real good season. They had like one of the top running backs in the country, and he was supposed to shine and run West Jeff into the championship, and they lost. They lost. Just that simple. They lost to Carver, and we ended up going in front of the board, the state of Louisiana, and the state of Louisiana suspended Carver from the playoffs. So the loss that West Jeff had didn't count. So West Jeff ended up taking Carver place the next round, and they still lost. Okay, so that was, you know what I'm saying, that was the best chance right there. But man, shouts out to that team, man. That probably was the best team they had since Linares L-Page was there. Linares L-Page was, some of y'all know the guy. He went to Tulane, played for Carver. Man, this dude did everything out there, including worked the cotton candy machine. Dude was a beast. But yeah, that team back in 2004 probably was the best Carver team they had, and they screwed the heck out of us on that one. Fact Mega Prime, it was white supremacy first. They always first, but the 80s set us way back. Wow, that's crazy. That was the last year I played at Carver. Yeah, man. Okay. I know you remember that, man. I know you do. It was I know you remember that then, man. You know the dude. I'm pretty sure you still know that dude name. Everybody that was affiliated, everybody know that dude name to this day. That dude was in my 6th period class. I ain't gonna call his name. I ain't gonna clown him like that, man, because, I mean, damn near 20 years old and still in high school. Oh, man, I'm going to leave that alone. Yeah, TJ, seems like time flies. The older you get, I'll be 41 this year and realizing, dang, I'm getting up there, but it's a blessing. Yeah, it's a blessing. It's a blessing, man. It's a blessing to be here, blessing to be alive. There's so many people that can't say that. So many people that started off with us ain't here. And that includes a lot of younger guys. I seen people like dropping like flies, man, young, 30, 20, heart attack, stroke, hypertension, all that noise, man. I'm still here. No matter what you go through in your life, folks, no matter how bad your life actually, or you feel like your life is, there's somebody having a lot worse than you. There's somebody going through something much worse than you. So always remember that, man. Always remember that. Facts, TJ, after I picked up the pen and realized your boy can spit. Yeah, man, sometimes, look, it takes one thing in order for us to find out what we're actually good at. We might end up working on one thing, feel like, man, that's what I should be doing. Nah, probably need to be working on something else. I played corner and split in over at St. James. Wasn't a star, but the main thing I took from it was work ethic, working with others, and being sociable. Yeah, that's the best thing about it. That's why, I always advocate, like, kids being in sports. It's not always about, them being superstars, but it teaches them hard work, teamwork, and also accountability. Sad to say I'm 32, and I'm just now trying to take care of my body. Well, ain't no problem with that, bro. It's never too late. It's never too late to do that. Take it one day at a time. You go to the gym or you go walking and you see somebody cock diesel swole, you know what I'm saying? Like arms spread out, ain't got no neck, muscles on top of his neck. You know, like you start looking at people like that, man, and I feel like that hinders a lot of people from working out. Just take it one day at a time, man. Because Rome wasn't built in a day. It's about consistency. It's about consistency. Consistency is the most important thing in your life. Period. Like if you be consistent, there's no doubt. There's only a matter of time before you get those results. Sometimes that consistency might take a little bit more time. But as long as you're consistent, that's what's going to get you where you need to be. I saw Marcus Spears in high school basketball state playoffs. Never knew he'd be all right today. Yeah, Marcus Spears was pretty good in football and basketball. And he was a pretty good tight end, too. Now, a lot of people don't remember that Marcus Spears played tight end. I'm going to get myself checked out on colon cancer and diabetes. Yeah, that's important. That's important too, man. That's important too. Let's see if we can get another Saints question before we get up out of here, man. I mean, good health and good conversation is always important. And that's what I enjoy about this show. You know, you never know what direction we gonna go in. I feel like everything we talk about is extremely, meaningful, and I appreciate y'all for that because when I come on this show, man, I do not know what we gonna talk about. Like I don't. I have a topic, and I don't know where the show gonna veer off to. But I'm just glad that we're able to have these type of conversations on the show, and thank you all for sharing some of your moments on the show. Appreciate that. But I don't really see any more sports questions. But my final thought, I was just gonna say this goes back to our main topic. Tyrann Mathieu needs to sign with the New Orleans Saints. They need to try to find a way to get him here. I don't feel that there's a guy out there right now that can bring more to your defense than Tyrann Mathieu can. The dude is a game wrecker. He's a game changer, and he's a leader. And I think that's what you need inside of your locker room, especially when you are losing a guy like Malcolm Jenkins after 13 years in the National Football League. You need somebody that's going to be able to come in and replace that type of production, that type of leadership, that type of presence. And I feel like Tyrann Mathieu can be that. So hopefully, the Saints can try to maybe bring him into the building, maybe talk to him, see where he's at. Maybe they can try to negotiate a deal. And if they can't, then it's okay, man. But at least you tried. But the fact that the guy's in Louisiana and you ain't even tried to talk to the dude or bring him into the facility to see where his mind is, to talk to him and see if he will want to be a part of the team and see if you can make it happen, I feel like that's a shame on the New Orleans Saints. And you have no excuse. You seen this guy play in high school. You seen this guy play on a college level. You seen this guy play in the NFL. So it's not like you don't know what this guy can bring to the table. So at least bring him in, talk to him. And I know if they do, then he's going to be a New Orleans Saint because I think they're going to see how special this guy actually is. And I think we already know that. But thank you all so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com. Search The State of the Saints podcast. Facebook.com. Search The State of the Saints podcast. Previous episodes available on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and we're also a part of the Pigskin Podcast Network. Till next time, all I got to say is